Welcome to Run It Back Philly. DJ Eastwood doesn't need your mother-f***ing intro.
What do you think about the MVP race and Joel Embiid, Giannis, Jokic? People are bringing up Devin Booker now, Luka Doncic, and I think like what I'm seeing is all of a sudden like somebody can get hot for a month at the end of the season, and then they're in the MVP talks. Like, what happened to the entire season? You know,
Bro, I only thing I kind of wish Joel Embiid didn't put his foot in his mouth so fast. I wish he would I agree with what he said. I just wish he waited till after he lost to say it. Because like now it's like, you know how people can be petty. So it's like, oh, you say we're hating on you. Now we're going to hate on you. So, so I just wish he didn't say it at that time. But he's right, because all you heard last season was if Embiid played more games, he would be MVP, right? Yep. Man comes out, play almost every game, and is better than he was last year, and somehow it's up in the air. Like, what the bro, like, where's the consistency? Last year he was a shoo-in, right? It was just that he was missing games. Now it's no, and Joker this. Like, and don't get me wrong, I do expect it to be a race with somebody. Somebody has to make it interesting. So I'm not saying that hearing people say Jokic is possibly their number one. My problem is that it's so debatable with Joel. It's like it's not like I don't know how to say it. It's just always something to say about this guy not being the one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I feel like this year he proved that he is, man. Like, and it's not enough credit. It's not enough credit.
It's really like, what more can I do?
Yeah.
What more could he possibly have done this season? Going through the Ben Simmons thing, going through everything. What more could he have done? He had those 2 months where he broke all the Sixers franchise records for 35 and 10 games, 38 to 40 and 10 games. Like, he's on a list right now. The only NBA players in history with 12 40 and 10 games in a season are Wilt Chamberlain, Russell Westbrook, and Joel Embiid. I'm pretty sure I might have missed one person, but yeah, he's doing ridiculous things, and we're talking about.
And here's the thing that gets me too. Every season, also kind of with the MVP award comes a story, a narrative, something that generate clicks or papers or sell papers, right? Who had that more than the Sixers this year? We had one of the biggest blow-ups in NBA history. Yeah. Of a guy who refused to come to camp, who refused to step foot in the court. Like this we were the talk of the league this year. Joel Embiid outperforming that narrative, that story is one of the biggest stories of the season. How is he? When the year that Durant left, everybody wanted to talk about how Russell Westbrook was the MVP because he kept going and he was putting up numbers and he got them to the playoffs. Why are we not getting that same attention? Like, it's not adding up to me, bro. How are we not getting
crazy because
a narrative? James Harden got his MVP based off a narrative the year he won. Like, what narrative do Jokic have? He doing the same thing he did last year. It's boring. Like, who cares? Like, move on. Like, we've been way more interesting than anything different and Jokic been doing. Bottom line, flat out, we're way more interesting to watch. We got more stories. Like I said, the whole Ben Simmons thing, getting James Harden. How is it not a more of a shoe-in for Joel Embiid? Like, how is it still a toss-up? Like, I don't get it, bro. A little bit of a rant. I'm sorry.
Jay's passionate about this topic, man.
Yeah, because I don't. It's crazy, bro. I don't get how we still talking about this. Like,
it's funny to me, right? So when it comes to the MVP. I think the MVP has been flawed for about 10 years now. Like the voting, I think it was flawed for about at least 10 years now, at least. MVP and Defensive Player of the Year awards. I wanted to go back. I just want to go back a little bit to like Steph Curry when he won. Now, the year when Steph Curry won, he was unanimous. He was going ballistic. He was doing everything. You know what year I'm talking about. The year before KD came. That year, was Steph Curry's, not going to argue. Shit he was doing was crazy. The year before that, Harden won.
Yeah, 15 Harden, 16 Curry, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm sorry. I meant to say Steph Curry won 2, but he should have only won 1. One of those should have been Harden's. Harden was going crazy.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
I feel like a lot of
And they
times
tried to make it
NBA
up.
is
Yeah.
right. The NBA is like backwards with the award, so they'll award you for the MVP because they feel like they robbed you the year before. Like the Joker could have won the one before that instead of Giannis, but they decided to give him to last year, like a sympathy thing. And they do the same thing with Defensive Player of the Year. I remember one time the Mavs won the chip against the Heat, and they gave Tyson Chandler the Defensive Player of the Year the year after. So it's like the league, the way they do the MVP voting. I don't know who all's in charge, but it's messed up. Like,
it's a bunch of reporters. You're right. It's sympathy play. You're right. It's at the end of the day, it's not a machine. It's not really based off stats. It's human. It's human.
Right.
It's forget me. It's 2020 hindsight. Is it's all that stuff. The what's now in front of you. Like it's very wishy-washy.
So the argument for Jokic is based off stats, and so I don't see how you could give it to him 2 years in a row, because the only way they gave it to him last year is because, first of all, the best ability is availability, and he played more games than Joel Embiid.
That's what they said all year, and the whole time.
And, when you watch Nikola Jokic play basketball, he's ridiculous. He's one of the best offensive 7-footers I've ever seen. His ball handling and passing ability and is crazy for someone his size, and he has a jumper. He does a little hook shot in the lane. Like, he just put up 40 and 16 last night, even though they lost. But the defensive side of the ball, the dude, he can't guard NBA centers, like scoring NBA centers. He can't. When they played the Sixers, every time they play the Sixers, when he gets the matchup against Joel Embiid, which only happened twice in 3 seasons now, they got to bring a double right away. Joe's going right through his chest. That dude, you know what I mean?
He's too little. Jay, we've seen him in person. He's too little.
But so they use all of these mathematic equations to argue that he's the best defensive player in the league based on like defensive efficiency rating and box score plus minus and all this bullshit. Straight up bullshit. Because when you watch the damn game, the dude isn't even on the same level defensively as Joel Embiid, who I think is the defensive player of the year every single year. Right now, the Sixers are I forget the number off the top of my head, but they're 7th in the league defensively when Joel Embiid's on the floor, and they're 27th when he's off the floor. He's been anchoring this team defensively.
Like all the thing. It's like all
on
the
top
boxes.
Of dropping 30 and 12 every night.
Crazy.
It's like all the boxes of MVP are checked. So I'm like, what's the one that's missing? It's like, bro, it's like what the narrative is there, the stats are there, the records. He's breaking records this year. I'm trying to be unbiased. I'm trying to think outside of being a Sixers fan and think like, well, what are we missing? I get what number 1 seed. We had that for a day.
We had it more than once.
Yeah, right. We started.
We were the number 1 seed last year. We would have won number 1 seed last year.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And that's what I didn't think it really made sense that they were taking him out of the race off of him missing games. Like, I understood, but it really, like, at the end of the day, that makes sense to me because it's like, if he's missing that many games and still putting up these type of numbers, that means he would be putting up these type of numbers if he was there. So, but I got it. It is what it is. But this year, there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
The narrative for Denver fans is that Joel Embiid plays in a large market and Nikola Jokic isn't respected because they're in Denver. And also they say that he doesn't play like a flashy game and he's not like an entertainer like Joel Embiid. So they feel like he has this disadvantage and he's not respected in the media and things like that. That's what they say.
I think he is an entertainer in his own right. It's different. We're not used to it because he's not American, but he's an entertainer in his own right. He just does it differently. He's flashy. His passes are flashy. He's just dopey looking. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is. It's not sexy. That's what they say.
I was about to say he's a little awkward, but that's why I said this before. Like he's an ex-tennis player that started playing basketball at 15. That's really late, bro. And I think that's why like certain things don't click with him right away, huh?
Embiid started 18.
Too.
Oh, I'm talking about Embiid. Are y'all talking about
Embiid?
Yeah,
I didn't know Embiid played. I didn't know Embiid played tennis.
Embiid was a volleyball player.
It was volleyball. My bad. Yeah, it was volleyball.
Yeah.
And like with those guys, like I think we're like, because we think about Americans, like we're starting off on our the courts on our doors.
Right.
Learning how to time hoops. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you learn your timing. And I think like not having that, you don't have your coordination is a little, behind other kids. So him starting so late at 15, I think that that's why he doesn't look as sexy on the court as
I think the skill that he developed in such a short time. By the time he got to Kansas, Kansas, he was the man.
Right, exactly.
Before that,
it's crazy.
He was a stick. He was like this big,
bro. If Embiid did start as a child, bro, hands down the best player, one of the best players of all
Embiid
time.
Has
bro.
Joel Embiid is a level of genius. He really is. He has like a photographic memory, or however you want to say it, because like even just playing alongside Joel Embiid and he practiced playing alongside James Harden and he practiced the James Harden step back like twice and then did it in a game.
He learned it in like 2 days. Right?
Yeah, so he picked up a basketball when he was 15. He said he learned how to shoot by watching white people on YouTube. That's how he said that. That's how he learned how to shoot.
That's crazy.
So he just pulled up a video of like JJ Redick in college or something. I don't know what time, what year.
I think he talked about those training videos. I seen those. It's like this white guy. He does this training videos to show you how to do a perfect form.
They work.
It must work. It must work.
I think he's just like genius. Like he just watched that and like had a perfect jump shot. Like, okay, I'll just do it like that. And then like he studied Hakeem Olajuwon, like dream shake and double, fade away jumpers. And he's just like, I'll just go do that. Like a lot of people can't just watch a video and emulate something like that. He's a different level. That's crazy that he I don't even feel like he had to learn anything. I feel like he can just watch something and like do it. But yeah,
I respect it. It's different.
Somebody in the chat said Ness is up by 1. Is that true?
That's crazy. My God, it's Todd.